5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Mallory and whoever else is watching this, there are 2 sheets of paper that you need. The first one is this guy, and this sheet of paper has is kind of the summary of 3-1, 3-2, 3-3. 3-1 is what we're doing today. That's reflections. 3-2 is translations. 3-3 is rotations. Okay. So those are those 3 sections, and this is like a consolidation of all of them, okay? Then you have 3-1, the actual note sheet, all right? So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is this sheet of paper that has the review stuff on it, all right? So take a look at that. We are reflecting stuff, and we're reflecting it in the x-axis, y-axis, and then we'll talk about this other guy right here, okay? Now, don't necessarily have to write this down, but watch. Ready? I have this coordinate plane, and I have this point right here that I like to talk about, and it is the point 2, 3, okay? All right, if I reflect him across the x-axis is down this way, what will that point become?
2, -3.
Okay, 2, -3. Agreed?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Now, when I reflected it across the x-axis, what changed?
The y.
The y-coordinate changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So x-axis, the y-coordinate changed. That's the rule. xy will become x -y. Circle that on your sheet because that's the important part. Okay, when you're going across the x-axis, the opposite one becomes negative. Okay, all right, now I'm going to go back to my original point 2, 3, and I want to reflect him across the y-axis. What will that point become if I flip him over there? -2, 3. So across the y-axis, the x-coordinate changes sign, right? So the x-coordinate becomes negative. That's this guy right here. Notice the negative x. Negative y. So the opposite one becomes negative when you flip him across the x versus y axis. Okay. Now, there is one more thing that they talk about, which is this dotted line right here. This dotted line right here is the line y equals x. Okay. It's a linear line, right? It's like a linear function. I want to take this guy and I want to flip him across that line y equals x. Okay. So I'm moving this green dot down to here. He was originally 2, 3. If I flip him down that way, what will he become? 3, 2, because the rule says you take the x and the y and you flip him and he becomes y, x, yeah? Okay, so that's the rule. So this is kind of like your little cheat sheet of what happens to each point, okay? All right, so that's the only part that we're going to focus on for this section, and then 3-2 tomorrow we'll talk about that box, 3-3 we'll talk about that box, okay? So go to your notes. 3-1 reflections. Here we go. The first thing that they want us to do involves using your note card, and they want us to take this triangle and they want us to flip it over top of that over top of that line K, right? Okay, cool. So I'm taking it and I'm like flipping it down, all right? I do not want you just to sketch this freehand willy-nilly and just call it good, right? We're going to do this perfectly, okay? Perfectly. So what I want you to do first, let's start with point A. Point A has a dot right there. And we're going to flip him across this line, all right? And when we do that, what you're going to do is you're going to take your note card, okay? You have a note card, and you're going to set your note card on this line so that the bottom side of your note card matches up with that line, right? Like that, okay?
Hold on.
You're going to put your note card on that line so the bottom part of that line matches up, okay? And what that will, that's fine. Yours is going to go like all the way up here, right? Your note card will look like that. Okay, that's what it will look like. And what you're going to do is use that note card and you are going to draw the line right here. And that will ensure, by matching the bottom of your note card up with the line, it will make sure that it is a 90-degree angle, right? Okay, you're going to do it like this. You're going to match it up like this, right? You're going to set that on the bottom line, and then you're going to use that to connect that line down, yeah?
You want us to draw it down?
I want you to draw it down and connect it back to that line. Okay, it will make a perpendicular with that line.
Can you come see if I'm doing this right? Because I don't understand. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
All I want you to do, you gotta have
I can't
A.
play
You gotta find A.
tonight.
Okay. A is that point right there. I'm gonna match the bottom side up with that line, and you're going to connect right here.
I also need
Right.
help.
I deleted it last week because it was time.
That's a
Do
good
I go
idea.
with the
So,
green?
point A is right there. I'm gonna match the bottom side up with the line. You're gonna draw it.
And what that does, by doing that, that ensures that your line is perfectly perpendicular, yeah?
Yes.
He is a 90-degree angle. Okay, now, we're not done with A yet. We want to reflect him across that line. So now that your line is established, You ready?
Shut up.
Now that your line is established, you're gonna go ahead and put your note card this way on the line, and you're gonna extend the line down so that it goes beyond, right? Okay, so take your note card and make him straight down like this, okay? And extend him on. About the same distance, maybe a little bit more, just so that we have enough.
I can see where the marker was on this, I can go the same.
Yes, right. Okay?
I went way over
You're gonna do the same thing for B.
I
So
have an
line up your
idea.
note card on
Mrs.
B like
Commenter.
this.
Hey, I have an idea.
What?
Okay, so if you do that thing that we did first, and then you just make a mark where that line is, and you can go over it and have the exact same distance.
Ray used his brain.
Okay, sure.
Boom.
Okay, so do the same thing with B. You're gonna draw your line straight down
No,
at a 90-degree angle using your note card. Put your note card like over here in this corner so that you can have it at a 90-degree angle. Same thing with C. Okay? Now, what should be true about those three lines that we've drawn?
They should be equal.
They all should be 90-degree angles with the horizontal line, right?
It looks
But
right.
what are they in relationship to each other?
Parallel.
They're all going to be parallel, right? If those three are perpendicular to the same line K, they're all going to be parallel to each other, okay?
Doesn't surprise me.
Are we good? Do we have our lines drawn?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet?
This
We're
is
getting
too
there?
much. Just get it real good.
Okay?
Yellow.
I drew my hat.
The last thing that we're going to do is we need to measure the points. So if I have A that lives up here, I want him to be the same distance on the other side down here. How can I use this piece of paper, this note card, to
Mark
figure
it.
out that distance? Okay? I'm going to take my note card, I'm going to set him along here. My note card's too big. But I'm going to take my note card, set it along here, mark where it's at, and then move it down and mark it again. Right?
That's what I
Do you guys
did.
see what I'm doing?
Wow.
Okay?
I'm still.
I'm going to put my note card
And puzzle.
on my paper, mark where it's at, go down and mark it again. Okay?
I'll have you know, I just drew the most beautiful drawing.
So A, I'm marking him on my note card here.
Mrs. Commenter.
Mark
Mrs. Commenter.
and mark. There's where A is going to be at now. B,
What?
mark it. You can't see me do this.
I don't get it.
I'll come help you.
I think that's close enough.
None of this makes
See?
sense to me.
Just look dumb with the
Okay?
line.
This is what you're doing. You're using this as a measuring like stick here. Okay? So, hold on.
I'm gonna color
Look at the
them
corner right
on
there.
extra like that.
I'm going to.
A is this far, right? So
Going
I'm
to
gonna go down
shoot
here and move him
myself.
this far, and there he is.
The
now.
office now.
Make sense?
Oh.
Okay? You
Boom.
get it?
Perfect.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. See? Now this is a way better drawing than you could have drawn without like having to like freehand it, right?
don't look the
I
same.
freehanded it because I didn't watch you.
Yeah, that's good.
Look, guys.
And then once you're done, you're going to connect all three dots, right? And it should make a really nice looking triangle.
Mine's perfect.
Would you look at that?
Mine really don't be.
Okay? And we're gonna label these guys, okay? A, B, C, except to differentiate them and to show that they are the next
A
one,
prime.
we would call them A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay? So they have to have a little dash up in the corner of them. So
Okay,
A
Marcus,
prime, B
we
prime,
get
C
it.
prime.
You're
Not
smart.
mark them like that.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're
Good?
smart.
Alright, so when you have to draw these on your homework assignment, you're not just gonna willy-nilly draw it up there, you're gonna actually connect it, you're gonna draw it and construct it.
What if I do
Correct.
this like perfect?
Yeah,
I
what
will
if I
count it
actually-
wrong.
What if it's perfect?
Oh,
What if
no,
you-
if it's no,
If
you have to
it's
draw the lines.
perfect.
I'll have you know, you won't be able to tell if I freehand it.
Yes, I will, because you won't have your lines drawn.
Does this look right?
Okay?
Then draw random
It will
lines.
look like this. What?
Does this
I will
look
be able to
right?
tell. That looks great. Yes. Yes.
I'm a
Okay?
pickle.
I think
Now,
she
make
did
sure,
make
go
it
back
look
through,
like
make sure and you label them A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay? They have to be labeled.
I'm a pickle.
All right?
Wait.
Let's skip example 2. We're going to go on to example 3.
I drew a square.
Do it all.
Well,
I drew
now
this.
we'll just skip it.
Okay.
Okay? Example 3. Let's plot these points J, K, L. J is at 0, 3. I'm going to label him. K, -2, -1. And L is at -6, +1. J, K, L. There he is. Okay? He is a
Oh,
triangle
yeah.
that looks like that.
I should probably plot this.
Let's plot the points. Then I'm going to change my color. Plot those points. J, K, L. Okay?
-6, 1. Hey, I'm 6, 1.
Okay?
No, you're not.
What we're wanting to do is reflected across what line? X equals -4. What does the graph of x equals -4 look like?
It's that one line.
Whole line on the, no, a vertical
It's
line.
going to be a vertical line at -4. -4 on the x-axis is right here, so I make a vertical line straight up and down at -4. Okay? That's what my dotted line's going to look like. Okay?
Young man.
So I'm going to take this shape and I'm trying to reflect it across the line x equals -4, the line that I've drawn. And the line that I've drawn goes through my shape. So what's going to happen is he's going to start like this and he's just going to flip over top, right? He's just going to flip around that hole, right? Okay? So here's how we do this. Not terribly difficult. Look at point L to start with. Point L is over here. He is 2 units to the left. So to reflect him, I'm going to go 2 units to the right, and that's my new L, and we call him L prime with a little apostrophe over top of him. Okay? J is the same way. J is 4 units to the left. So I go 4 units to the right. Excuse me, he's 4 units to the right, so I go 4 units to the left. That's what I meant.
What?
J prime, there he
I
is.
freehanded
Okay?
it perfectly.
K is 2 units to the right. Now he's going to go 2 units to the left. And he is over here. So K prime. And I connect my dots.
He didn't use a ruler or anything.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, now, that one we didn't have to use a ruler because he's perfect horizontal lines. His perpendicular is horizontal.
I'm a perfect.
It's still
horizontal.
freehanding.
Kind of, yeah.
I'll have you know, I freehanded it wrong because I tried to reflect it over the x-axis.
But you got to pay attention to what they want you to reflect it about, right?
Pretty sus.
The line x equals -4, that's where we're reflecting it around, okay? And he looks like that. Does he look like he's spun around that line?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. All right, go to the next page at the top. Here we go.
That one pink and one twink.
This is the kind of the same as the little box that we had on your review sheet, so I'm not going to go through that, but let's go ahead. And I'm going to do this one, and we're going to not graph it first, okay? We're not going to graph it first. List these points off to the side over here. A, B,
A, B, C, D,
and C. Shh. Okay, A, B, C. List them off to the side. And we're going to write what they become.
Stop naming the
So I'm going to do this one is A prime, B prime, C prime.
We're not in art.
All right, what are we reflecting it around?
I can't even tell you, man.
The x-axis.
The x-axis. Okay, what happens when you reflect it across the
Have we done
x-axis?
this
You go
before?
up and down.
The y coordinate, yeah, it goes up, it goes from up to down and vice versa, right?
Y coordinate
But the
becomes
y
negative.
coordinate becomes negative. Okay, so this point changes from -5 to 3 to
-5, -3.
You betcha.
0.
-5, -3. The y coordinate becomes negative. All right. How do you make the y coordinate negative when it's 2, 0?
It
And you
can
make
stay
it negative
0.
0.
It's like 2 -0, but 2 -0 stays as 2, 0, right?
It'll be the Bobby.
Okay. Shh. You didn't put your mask on, boy.
It's on.
Okay.
Clayton.
And then 1, 2. You also. 1, 2
She just
becomes.
assumed my gender.
Shh.
I think she.
1, 2 becomes what?
Wait, 1, -2.
1, -2. Let's plot them.
I just had a.
So starting with the beginning ones, -5, 3.
Mr. Stark.
Plot them.
What's up?
2, 0 is B and C is 1, 2. This is a weird little triangle thing.
Can you send Polly to the office?
This is a weird
I don't really
little
care.
triangle thing.
I don't really care for him at all. Okay, the other one is -5, -3. That's A prime. B prime stays as 2, 0, and C prime is 1, -2.
What am I doing?
This is a simpy boy. We don't know.
So this is what he looks like. Okay, and that is reflected across the x-axis. So we can do this reflection without actually plotting it first, right?
Wow.
We can do the coordinates first.
I'm a little slow at drawing.
Okay.
You're slow.
All right.
What kind of triangle is this?
Keep going, keep going.
It's
I don't even know.
an
what
obtuse triangle.
What the heck is this? Hold on.
Man, I can.
Oh, I found it.
Okay, moving on.
How could you do this?
Describe the transformation using the coordinate notation. Let's do this. We need to label P, Q, R, and S,
Where?
and we're gonna find his coordinate points. P, Q, R, S. Okay.
Can we just like?
And then hold on. Nope. We're gonna do P prime, Q prime, R prime, S prime.
Making up prime numbers.
Okay, there he is.
Peanut butter up and down.
Unit loader.
All right. So label these on your sheet. We're gonna find out where those coordinate points are at looking at the graph.
Hold on, I'm still trying to do the last one we did.
Dum dum gimme gum gum. I don't want
What?
Not at the
At the
museum.
museum?
All right. Point P is this guy right here. What are his coordinate points?
Or
It's a baseline.
-4.
Dude, if you could stop.
Negative 4 comma 1.
Oh,
Yeah, idiot.
Okay,
stick.
Q, what's Q?
What's Q?
What's Q? What's the coordinates for Q?
2,
-4.
3.
2 comma 3.
So what do we do?
Okay, R is
Bro.
I don't know.
2 -3.
2 negative 1. And S?
Let's get done.
6, 7.
-1, 2, -4,
Negative 4, negative 3.
Negative 4, negative 3. Perfect. Okay, let's do the other one.
No one listened. Come on.
All right,
6, 8.
I'm gonna go in purple.
4, 1.
P prime is this guy right here. Okay, he is 4, 4, 1.
I know, I see.
Q prime, this one right here,
Negative 2.
Whoa.
negative 2, 3. R prime,
-2,
negative 2, negative 1. And S prime,
4, -3.
4, negative 3. So if I put those two coordinates side by side, negative 4, 1 became positive 4, 1. 2, 3 became negative 2, 3, etc. What is happening?
Reflection across the Y.
Yeah, we've done this before though.
But what's happening to the coordinates?
The X is changing.
The X becomes
Negative.
negative. Now, when it becomes negative, if it's already negative, it's still a negative negative, which turns it positive, right?
Yes.
Okay? So the X coordinate becomes negative, which means that if it's already negative, it becomes positive, okay? And when the X coordinate becomes negative, it is a reflection across,
The Y
Oh,
axis.
yeah, Y.
right, reflection across the Y-axis. Now you guys can see that using that figure, right? You can see that that's a reflection across the Y-axis? Yeah?
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
Okay?
Let's go.
The last one, we're reflecting it across the line Y equals X.
Oh.
Okay? So let's not graph first. Let's go ahead and write the points out. So 2 comma 2, KLM.
KLM.
Write these 4 points out. 4, 1,
BLM.
3, negative 3,
We don't talk about
0, negative 4.
Clock slides back.
Okay?
Okay.
And he is becoming J prime, K prime, L prime, M prime.
Optimus Prime.
And there he is.
Just kidding.
Okay? Go.
Oh, are we doing this ourselves? Sorry.
We're reflecting across the line Y equals X. So what does that mean we do?
That's that weird
Just flip 'em.
line.
We
across-
flip them. How do you flip 2, 2?
2, 2.
2, 2. Okay? If you flip the second one, what does it become?
1,
1 comma 4. And then
Negative 3, 3.
negative 3, 3. And then
Negative 4, 0.
negative 4, 0. Okay? So let's plot each one of these.
Hold on.
On
Whoa,
the homework, do we have to
whoa,
list
whoa.
what point is
Hold on a
where?
second.
Or do we?
Oh,
Can we just try?
You don't even know what the homework looks like, kid.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
Is that
we
negative
have to
four?
graph, do we
Is
have
the
to
last one
plot,
negative
like,
four?
when we plot the point, do we have to say what point it is?
Is that negative 4?
Hey, I'm going to beat you.
Do
Just
it.
wait.
Do it.
And I'll
Do
answer
it.
your question here in a minute.
Recently. And I
It kills me. I'm not doing it today.
2,
Yeah,
2.
you are.
I'm sleeping.
1, 4.
No, you're not.
I was up till 4.
Negative 3, 3.
I was up till
Negative 4,
11.
0.
How long was your girlfriend there?
Since 4:30.
Okay?
So she left.
The green dotted line is the line Y equals
Yeah,
X. He's flipped across there. Not too bad.
Isaac?
Did your parents know?
No.
You know this is being video, like recorded right now. So if your parents want to know, you know, like we can make that arrangement.
That's not very cash money. I didn't do anything wrong.
I mean,
Hey, that's a nice
I didn't even know what
man.
you're guilty of. I wasn't really listening, but I
I'm
know
not
that
guilty.
whatever you're not wanting your parents to know, now they could know.
As if my parents Mom, I didn't do it.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
so
All right. Does that look like it's reflected across the line Y
No,
equals X?
Why does yours look different than mine?
Yeah.
I don't know. You didn't plot your points right.
It's
Hey.
okay, nobody watches the recordings anyway.
Mallory does.
No, she doesn't.
Alright,
No, she
Mallory.
Mallory, who?
Reflect across the x-axis, y-axis, y equals x. This box right here.
She wasn't.
She wasn't this morning.
My mom's gonna watch
This
now.
box right here is the same box as what was on the other sheet of paper. I just taken him and copy and pasted him over to the other side, so that's what this box is saying.
Copy and paste
You
it.
guys have a homework assignment that looks like this, you're going to do all of them both sides. And when you do this one up, like the 1 through 4 up at the top, you're not going to just willy-nilly reflect them down. You're going to actually draw the lines, right? Draw your lines. Okay, now,
Well, you're.
before I give you this paper,
Yeah, you just.
what's going to happen to D?
It's gonna stay on the same.
It's going to stay in the same spot, right? Because when you reflect him across it, he's on the line. He's going to stay in the same spot, okay? All right, so do all both sides. There you go.
I don't have it.
Okay, I will give it to you right now. Let me stop recording.
Bro.
May I use the rest?